Hey guys, I hope that you are all having a beautiful Woden's Day. It is Wednesday, August the 26th, and I have 3 new journals to go into the shop. Now these are a bit different from, our flower power, bright color kind of books. These have muted tones where, we're kind of moving into the fall season. Autumn tones, kind of some distressed-ish kind of thing, covers here. So I hope that you guys dig them. They are collage covers, y'all. What I did was I had these 3 pieces, the front pieces, and I paired that with some of this absolutely gorgeous fabric. It is black. It has these pops of gold on it. I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. And I love the way that the front pieces kind of brought the whole journals together. And I was able to use some super cool funky beads because instead of using embroidery floss to do the binding on these journals, I used some hemp cording. And because I used the hemp cording, of course, that's a whole lot thicker than embroidery floss, and I couldn't use small beads. So I was able to really take advantage of some of these super chunky, look at that. Well, what is that? That's like one of those, what do they call those beads? You guys know what I'm talking about. But I was able to use those. I was able to use some really chunky glass beads on here. So I was very happy. I also was very cognizant about creating hairy paper clips that kind of went along with the color theme of the journals. These will be 3 of a kind. I won't have these same materials probably ever again. I have to thank Miss C for sending some things along that just absolutely matched perfectly. Kind of the vibe that I was feeling. I was feeling that kind of Tim Holtz-ish kind of thing. So that's how these journals came together. We've got 4 signatures. We've got 8 pockets. We've got a lot of handmade items. Of course, you'll always have lots of paper to play with. Just try new things. Don't be afraid. Step out of your comfort zone and soar. And that is a quote from Michelle Obama. We've got our 3x3 mini book that we can use as a glue book. We can use it as a mini journal. A lot of times, and we've talked about this before, friends, you get a new journal and it's just super thick and, you don't want to mess it up. And I do the same thing like with a planner. If you get like this really nice planner, it's like, oh, I don't want to use that, I'm going to mess it up. When the whole objective to having something like that is to use it. This is some really beautiful super vintage paper. I think this is 1883, and I love the the numbers. I just thought that those were super stellar. Clippings from books, clippings from magazines, magazine images. You guys know how much I love a good magazine image. You can build on the images. This is from a book that I got at the library. I just love this girl. I thought she was super cool. I love the word found in relation to this little image right here, 1975 Farmer's Almanac. I really love this Christmas wood cutting here. I took advantage of all of those books that I found at the library last week for 50 cents each. I mean, you can't do any better than that for a very good collection of images. I am really digging this, kind of altered pumpkin paper. You guys know that I have a really hard time with orange, and so what you have on this paper pad is kind of rust colors. We have the gray of the leaves. We have these beautiful twining pieces on these white pumpkins. We grow white pumpkins at the farm, and with the pumpkin imagery, I thought that this chippy that features a castle and the words favorite tales just kind of really did pull that page together. Chris loves Captain Crunch, and he had finished a box, and the boxes are gigantic. I mean, they are ginormous boxes of cereals, but they're like $4, so it makes a really wonderful snack for him. And as I was cutting up the box, because it makes an absolutely perfect food packaging cover for a flow journal, I just couldn't resist that little image of Captain Crunch. You know, it was a fun time, and I don't think that we even realized it when we could get up on Saturday morning, and you know, Mom and Dad usually slept late, and you could get your bowl of cereal, and you could turn on the cartoons, and you could watch Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny and maybe the Little Rascals. I mean, what great days those were. And we didn't know it. You know, we just wanted to be grown up, and I don't know why. I don't know why. We've got some pretty fabric here on a, that word is just gone today. Weather vane. Wow. The gods were with me. Weather vane, weather vane. So we have all kinds of just stellar imagery for you to work with here, you know, as well as the creative clusters that appear in the book. You have pages that are stacked with papers, words, symbols, images, all kinds of things for you to have clever fun with. Don't you love these? I messaged Michelle because she's in California. I said, "Are you okay, girl?" And she was like, "Yep." And I said, "Don't you let anything happen to all that cheese out there." So, Miss Michelle is our cheesemonger, and she sends these awesome labels, cheese labels. So thank you, girl, and we're happy that you are safe. This is our creative cluster. We call this Antique Fair. I did show and tell for these clusters, and these are the clusters that we're dating August the 26th. Iroquois arithmetic book. Anytime you see a piece of 3x6 in here, make yourself a mini book. Maybe make yourself a mini book for each signature, because there are plenty of 3x6 pieces in these journals to do several mini books. Maybe you want to do mini books for some happy mail. Maybe you want to start doing mini books for Christmas. This says Our House. It's a picture of a group of people, a lot of people sitting at a table with no mask or anything. It's very odd, you guys, how we have gotten into that mindset so quickly that it's almost scary when I see things on TV. You know, you see commercials and you see people gathered in groups and not wearing masks, and it's like, oh, they're not wearing masks. I don't do that, but you know, you have to. It makes your neural pathways go in places that you really never expected your neural pathways to go when you start thinking about things like that. I love the way this little page came together, because we've got airplane imagery, we've got make waves, we've got a bit of a map here, as well as a sea turtle right there. So just a really sweet mini cluster for you to have fun with. Guys, I've really enjoyed the sewing book that I got, the Simplicity sewing book, and I think that was from 1975 maybe. I also love the little cartoon book that I got. I like the illustrations here, and I just thought that would be a lot of fun to play with. Love this image of a girl and guitar. How many years did I do that? I did that for 37 years. I was a guitar player. In the madness, you have to find calm, and a lot of times we find calm through music, poetry, reading. I can totally get lost in a book. This is a really sweet collection of images, art trading cards, art trading coins. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things right here for you to play with. The Iroquois arithmetic book, which it's almost gone, and it was such pleasure to work with that book. More images. We've got, of course, bookmarks for you to play with. Now, I gotta tell you guys this. This is from Mama. Mama likes to cut things up. And it's like, okay, so she's been sending me like these packages of, she really loves to cut up Kleenex boxes. And she even looks for really pretty ones to cut up. So, you know, something from Mama to all of us. This is our what did we call this? We called this Winged Wonders. So we've got butterfly imagery in here. And of course, you know, you have these Winged Wonders things, you have these clusters, but you also have 8 pockets full of just fun things to create with, articles, things to read, things to do, maybe things to think about. These are 1983 Better Homes and Gardens, Success with Houseplants. I love the buying tips. Now this is a thing that folds out, so you've got a lot of imagery to work with. You've got a really sweet, you know, you've got a picture of 1983. Look at these salt and pepper shakers. We don't see those very much anymore. A chippy that says career change. We've had such a you know, such an odd few months, and you know, I've had to consider that sort of thing, and I'm not the only one who has had to pivot and create new ideas for income, and new creative ideas, and new career ideas. We're all kind of in that, you know, in that thought pattern, kind of in that holding pattern, as we maybe don't quite get to the phases of reopening as quickly as we wanted to. I know that we are just not there in Virginia. I know other states are not there as well. So, you know, you have to think about different ways of navigating, you know, this new stream that we are in. When I look back on all these worries, I remember the story of the old man who said on his deathbed that he had had a lot of trouble in his life, most of which had never happened, and that is Winston Churchill. Wonderful Churchill quote. I read a really inspiring story the other day about a restaurant in Brooklyn, New York, and they were just not going to survive. And it was very heartening because they decided that they could make their small shop into a neighborhood grocery store. And they did. And the article was it was encouraging, it was enlightening, it was inspiring, because they were just determined to do whatever they could to make things right, to survive, to help their employees survive. And now they are just a little thriving neighborhood grocery stores. I remember when I was growing up, we had a neighborhood grocery store. You could go up to Mr. Wilson's and you could buy candy, you could buy ice cream. You know, he would have things like milk and bread and peanut butter and jelly, and I think he even did a few deli meats and things like that. He ran it out of the garage of his house. Now this was in the in the early 60s, and my mom, when my brother was asleep, when he was taking his nap, she would let me walk to Mr. Wilson's. Now, Mr. Wilson's house was right across from my grandma's house. I lived within walking distance of my grandma's house. So my mom could say, I'm sending Tammy up to Mr. Wilson's. I could see my grandma would be looking out her door, and she would wave to me when I would go by, but Mom would give me a quarter to go up to Mr. Wilson's store, and I could buy a banana popsicle. I could buy 2 popsicles and some candy for a quarter. And, wow, you just think about, man, sometimes I just wish we could go back, and maybe we are, the shop in Brooklyn that started out as a restaurant, and just, they were having a hard time making it during the thing, and they pivoted, and pivoting is so important. It's so important to not get stuck in one place, to actually be able to pivot and look at new possibilities and be a new person and recognize new skills, or be able to transfer your skill set into a different business altogether. Another sweet bead strand, Pandora. These are like Pandora beads that I just think are so cool. They're cool here. I would not want to have one of those bracelets. That's just not my thing. We've got numbers going on here. A illustration from Redbook magazine. I think that I love the tilt of this woman's head. It's a sassy tilt. We've got a sweet little chippy that says Tupelo, and it's a little boy in his peregrine falcon. I have a friend who is a falconer, and to me, that is very Renaissance. It's very kingly and princely, you know, to watch him with his falcons. He's just a master falconer. It's really super cool. We've got Salvage Script for you this time, kind of a whole complete letter here. Lots of images to have fun with. I even, one day when I was processing my incoming mail, I thought, well, you know, that kind of would make a cool pocket. So we made a few little pockets. Again, a mini cluster that has lots of things to play with here. We've got clock, we've got a couple, and we've got a cow. So I was kind of going with the C, the letter C, and kind of connecting the dots, and that's kind of what these books are all about, you guys. No one person, nobody else is going to have this collection, right? So whatever you do in this book is going to be unique to you and your creative abilities, your creative spirit, and we all have that creative element inside of us. You know, we call it our inner voice or our inner spirit, or the Holy Spirit is called different things by different people. Really do like the way this kind of little fold out kind of worked out. I love folding magazine pages into different kinds of designs. I think that it's really fun to have little fold out pieces in your books. I put goat Gouda cheese label right here. Man, oh man, Chris and I really splurged last week, y'all. We got Gouda cheese, and I've been parceling it out. You know, when you get something really good like that, you go, ooh, I'm gonna parcel this out. And so I made mac and cheese one night with our bacon Gouda, which was stellar. It was just so good. But I've got a little bit left, and we've been super fond of red potatoes. You know, you can kind of boil red potatoes, and then I put that Gouda, the bacon Gouda cheese, and we got a champagne Gouda cheese. This is from the Simplicity pattern book. I dig the storage here. Now, you know, you can kind of look at that, and do you see a lot of plastic? No, my friends, you don't. It looks like that might be plastic right here, but you know, you see some wicker, you see some cardboard. I just really do love the way that looks. We've got cluster right here for you. Ancient sheet music. This is very chippy, so just be careful with it. Agatha Christie. We've got some vintage Czech. This is 1873. You can see right there. I do not know how on earth that book survived so well. I think a lot of times it's maybe a storage issue with books. You know, maybe they've been kept somewhere where they are just airtight, but I thought that was very pretty. I love the apple muffin recipe from the Apple Farm at 104 Back Road in Fairfield, Maine, and wouldn't you just know it, I found a stamp image that also says Maine. Maine must be an absolutely stellarly beautiful place. I wish it weren't so cold, because that might be one of those like natural environments that I would love to live in. You know, you could probably live kind of close to the ocean, close to the shore. I have 2 precious friends that live in Maine. 3 precious friends that live in Maine. It just sounds like such a beautiful, beautiful place. We have our Winged Wonders creative kit here for you. They're art trading cards, art trading coins. You've got a chippy here that says She Was to Remember. We've got Rocking Horse right here. We've got H for horse, and then there is a fabric horse image right here. The post office has these magical kind of kits that they're selling for, I'm sure that's for October. If any of you guys know how to get that philatelic magazine that they have at the post office, my friend Kathy found me a copy, but the post office that I go to does not have that magazine. You know what? They don't have that magazine on display. So I'm wondering if I ask my friend that works there if he possibly has some. Maybe they just don't put them out, you know. But you can view the catalog online, but you cannot order it, or I can't find a place to order it. Look at that. I thought that that was really cool. Just Stop and Shop, right? And these have a little bit of metallic gloss to it. These papers do. I thought they were really cool. Funeral Rites. This is from Garden and Gun magazine, which I love, love, love. And for my birthday, my kids bought me a subscription to Garden and Gun, which I'm very, very happy about. This is a little restaurant that is open. You know, we were talking about pivoting and how restaurants have really had to change. You know, we've really had to kind of embrace this situation as it's gone on and on. You guys, I really love this pink and blue matched with the pink. Again, this is a mama piece. She sent it to us. She's so funny. She likes to clip things. She likes to cut things out. I was like, okay, that must be where I get that from then. Oh. A little bit of a book, a little bit of a magazine. This is a Spanish melody called Juanita. Really super cool. I love illustrations like that. This was also from a book, and of course this is Carrie, and she was evil. She wasn't really evil. She was just made that way. That's what it is. Carrie was made that way. Old uses for new finds. I like that as a prompt. Lunar New Year. Very pretty things that the post office, you know, getting a bad rap right now. It makes me feel sad because I know those people work hard. And it just makes me sad, you know, to think that everybody's just kind of dissing the post office now. Show the post office a little love. You know what? Show everybody a little love. And this is our Feathered Friends creative kit. We've got one more. See how fun those hairy paper clips turned out? They just turned out really fun. And I was so happy to use chunky beads. This might make me use more of this hemp cording because I'm kind of liking it, y'all. We've got our 3x3 mini book. We've got a sweet little just flip book here for you to take me by surprise. You know, you get all kinds of surprises in life, and sometimes they're good and sometimes they're not so good, and you just have to navigate your own little stream and see how things go. Of course, there's only one stream, and that's a stream of well-being. It's just, are you in the stream or are you bucking that current? Of course, that's Abraham, and we all love some Abraham. Propagating orchids. Look at all these different kinds of orchids. My friend Tom grows orchids. That was I used to cat sit for them when they went away, but you know, nobody's going away at the moment. And I really miss my kitties. I totally do miss them, and I miss my friends. They were sweet people. We communicate on Facebook. It's a great thing, isn't it? It's great and bad all at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4 things for you to play with right here. Anchor hocking microwave ware. You know, we all thought we were going to need that. I remember when microwaves were new, but I don't remember ever having like microwave cookware stuff. And I got married in 1977, so I should remember things like that if I had them, and I don't think I did have them. We've got our go take a craft, go to an antique mall, antique fair, You know, we traveled around, we did things. It's nice to be able to ride the bike, you guys, on the Capitol Trail, because honestly, it kind of makes you feel like you're getting out of yourself a little bit. We did ride 5 miles today. Now, this is a girl who has not been on a bike in... I have not been on a bike in 42 years. So for me to go 5 miles on a bike was like, wow. And I did have to get off and push up some hills. I was very, I was distressed that I had to do that, but there was literally, guys, no earthly way I was going to be able to make it up the hills. And Chris is very tolerant of me being, it's not that I'm slow or anything like that. Well, I am slow, but, you know, if he says anything, I go, look, you're 11 years younger than me, so back off. We've got our Winged Wonders here. That's always my comeback. You know, I do really well to be like 11 years older than you. I just dig this bartender right here. He is super intense. I do not know what he's making, but it looks awesome, and he is doing it with a lot of flair right there. Again, the microwave cookware. Words to Live By. This is so sweet because this, I believe, is on Sea Island, and I remember being right there. I believe that used to be a venue that we used to play at when I was a tour manager, because we had to load in. It was an upstairs load in. A crown daisy. More fabric pieces. You know, I really love to mix it up. So you've got fabric, you've got paper, you've got a tag to work with. Don't you love the Dreamweaver goat milk cheese? Got vintage papers here for you. This is the Simplicity catalog. Man, that thing is just going to be wild fun. I want to go back and see if I can get some more of those 50-cent books. Goodness me, what a treasure. All these incredible bottles of booze bottles. Bright Winter Day, beautiful. A vintage Christmas card. A Roman mosaic. Got some map imagery. Lovely horse imagery. Be thankful. You can make cards with this kind of thing. You can make collages. This is, I thought just the colors really looked pretty. This blue border with these adhesive stencils along with this vintage recipe that's written in blue. Really pretty. And of course these pages are curated, so you'll always see something similar to be able to put things together quickly and easily and not have to think about it too much, because let's face it, thinking is just kind of like overrated these days, right? My thinker is thunk out a whole lot of times, especially like at the end of the evening. I'm like, I'm just thunk out. I can't think anymore. Christmas is a season when people run out of money before they run out of friends. You know, we'll start working in Halloween and we'll start working in Christmas and Thanksgiving and things like that into our journals. We love to present you with a passage of time. History, knowledge. This is Our Feathered Friends creative collage for you. So there we go, my friends. We will have these books in the store a little later on today, and I'm working on 3 more. Not like this. This will probably be it, because I don't envision ever having this grouping of materials to work with again. So Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Thank you for your support at the Etsy store. Have a delightful Woden's Day. See you soon.